You had mentioned about, that no one had paid attention to that period, but the show is so well known for trying to get the style of that period. Can you talk about how important that was to you?
It was important to me to have a philosophy. I wrote the show and lived through people trying to pay attention to that period or being somehow related to it. I mentioned this about living through Far From Heaven, and thank you, what was the George Clooney movie about Edward R. Murrow, and there were people in that thing. And I always looked at a movie like What's Love Got to Do with It, which is a really good movie about Ike and Tina Turner, but was really the philosophy of period, of how period is done in the United States, which is everything is from that day. Go to the magazines and give people the juice. Let them see the 70s in that case, or the 60s in that case, or whatever. And my feeling was, I didn't have any money. I knew I couldn't go outside. I had a richly appointed interior, I said, is always as interesting as an exterior. So I wanted detail, no matter what. And I had this philosophy, which was, look around you. All periods exist at once. We're not gonna go back. Let's try for reality. And reality is more expensive and takes more effort than fantasy and glamour. And in fact, by removing detail, you really create glamour. And so the clutter was something I was interested in. And it's ironic because it was photographed so beautifully that I don't think it really was ever as gritty as I imagined it being. On the other hand, I love what we did. But it looks beautiful, but there's all these things that I asked for. Sweat stains on the actors, collars askew, makeup that looks like it's been applied by the women by themselves, hairdos that decay, and clothing that was from different periods. So I said I wanted that. I wanted the ashtrays to be full. I wanted burns on people's clothing. I wanted them to look dirty a little bit, the way you would in New York in the summer. I wanted, for the clothing thing, I sort of skipped out of this, but my philosophy was unwrapping the package. That was the sex appeal, that there was all of these layers, and then underneath it, were Joan's breasts. But she's dressed like a nun. It's form-fitting, and you see it, but she is always wearing something you could wear to church. Betty Draper can have clothes that she goes to buy, but I wanted her to repeat outfits, right? She gets dressed up special in that second episode to go see the shrink. You see that dress again when she goes to do her holiday card. It's a very special dress to her. I really wanted that. I really wanted it to have this feeling, this extra sense of a universe, that was complete, that it was like where they were. It wasn't just, all the drawers are full. I mean, I went very literal about it. The suitcases are full. Don opens his drawers, there's pens and papers, the secretaries, there's shit in there. Those typewriters work, The typewriters were a big source of controversy also because they hadn't come out at that time, this electric, and we couldn't get enough of the regular electric typewriters. And I was talked into using this thing because it was only about 5 months away. And I said, at the moment, I go, if the show succeeds, we're never gonna hear the end of this, but it'll be a great problem to have. And it turned out to be true. People are like, it's a real environment, my ass. Those typewriters are wrong. I'm like, guys, I can't believe that they care about this. I'm so thrilled.